Hello, everybody. This week we are talking about cooties, and I like this word. It's kind of fun to think about, to talk about, and it's got a lot of memories for me. There was a game in the 80s that was called Cooties, where you'd put antennas and things in a bug and play some kind of game with a bunch of your friends, and I always had fun with that. Now, what Molly was talking about with cooties was the idea of things in the environment that are icky. So whether it's bugs, bacteria, germs, anything like that you feel is kind of yucky would be considered cooties. Any environment where you go into and you feel like the people are just kind of not your style, that might be something that's like cooties. So this word as a talking point, I really wanted to discuss the idea that when you think about something too much, especially today in this environment of our pandemic that's going on, when you think about something too much, I like that thought of the law of attraction, that you can bring that stuff to you. So I'm not talking about people who have pre-existing conditions or elderly people or people with autoimmune diseases. Obviously, everyone who's in that situation should take it very seriously. We should all wear our masks and do things to protect the people around us that we care about. But I'm talking about if you're a person who's just out in the world, you don't have a lot of health issues, you're taking necessary precautions, you're washing your hands, you're using, sanitizer sprays or pump things or whatever you want to use to keep yourself safe. You're wearing your mask when you're out in public. Those kind of precautions are important. But when you're constantly thinking about something, when you're thinking about the danger and the fear of something, you can bring that energy of that thing to you. And that, I think, is a really important concept. So I definitely take everything very seriously when it comes to my health and my family's health and my friends' health. But when it comes to my daily life, I try not to focus a lot of my attention on being nervous or afraid of something like the coronavirus, or just even everyday bacterias and germs and cooties that are out in my environment. I think that there is something about the power of the mind being able to focus in on something like that and fixate on something like that that can really compromise your immune system and put you in a vulnerable place. And when I think about cooties and that discussion point, that's really where it goes for me. That where your attention is and what you're fixating and focusing on, whether it's negative feelings or negative things in the world, that's what you're gonna produce, that's what you're gonna attract to yourself, and that's something that you should pay attention to. What is your mind fixating on? What are you thinking about on a regular basis? And how can you adjust your thinking, adjust your mind so that you feel powerful, strong, whole, connected, and like enough on the inside so that you feel very strong going out into the environment. So I really wanted to talk about that. Molly said it was okay for me to share a story about her grandfather. She lost her grandfather years ago to cancer, and he had spent his whole life being very, very afraid of cancer and wearing rubber gloves when he touched newspapers and doing all kinds of little things in his daily life to avoid it. And in the end, unfortunately, and probably because of genetics, that was what ended up taking his life in the end. But I think that concept of your brain being very, very, very powerful, that's why things like placebos work on people, is because your mind is very powerful. So if you're fixating on something, whether it's again, emotional, or if it's environmental, that sometimes that can compromise your immune system. That stress can compromise the health of your body in a way that can affect you negatively. So that is my concept of cooties and the importance of thinking about how our minds work and what we're focusing on. So I hope you enjoyed it today. I hope you're open and willing to post some comments on it. We enjoy your feedback and we appreciate you showing up today.